We come to relationships and seek out romantic partnerships for a number of reasons. One important reason that we often overlook is that we come to them in search of healing. When you're counseling a couple who has come to you seeking support around some disturbance in their relationship, something that they're having a difficult time with, you can teach them how to be more effective allies for one another, to support each other in creating the healing and the growth and the liberation that they've created the relationship to get for themselves in the first place. And of course, the way you do this is by focusing on the areas in which there's the greatest conflict, because those are the areas in which healing is desperately trying to happen. It may seem paradoxical, but it's really not. Here's how it goes. Even when couples don't come to couples counselors ever, they have still managed to engineer for themselves the perfect environment for healing to take place in. And we have this kind of remarkable, uncanny even, intuitive ability to do that. It's like if you walk into a crowded room at a party, you can find the one person in that room who is the perfect person. If you get close enough to them, they will help you create exactly the circumstances that are most like the ones that are unresolved from your past life. And that's the person that you'll find yourself most inexplicably drawn to and attracted to, ignoring almost everyone else. Why do we do this? I mean, it seems like we're really getting in our own way, but we're not. We do it because we have unresolved things inside of us from things in our past that we really want to heal because they're in our way. And we've got this intelligence operating underneath the surface that's trying to get that stuff resolved and out of the way. And so we figure this out. If I could only find somebody who would love me enough and get me enough and know me well enough so that I would feel safe enough with them, maybe that person could help me resolve these things that are unresolved from my past. Maybe this time around, instead of going the way it went the first time, there'll be somebody with me who can actually help me to heal. And so we find the person that we think can do that. And in order for them to, they've got to be the sort of person who can also help us create the circumstances that need resolving in the first place. So imagine this scenario. This could be any number of scenarios, but we'll pick one example. Man and a woman are in a relationship, and she spends a lot of time getting angry at him because he is not reliable and solid, and she desperately wants him to be, and so she's mad at him a lot. He, on the other hand, often tries to pretend like he's more reliable than he is, and when the ruse doesn't work and she gets mad, he feels terrible about himself because he wishes he could be reliable and yet can't seem to be. And then in the face of her anger, he might shut down and distance himself, which makes him even less available and makes her even angrier, which makes him shut down more, and you've got this cycle in place. In that cycle, you've got two people who are both trying to get help with something unconsciously and unawarely. They're pulling on each other's attention in ways they don't know they're doing. And you can help them figure out what it is that they're both after. Like maybe if he were able to really give her the attention she needed for healing, he would, when she got the angriest, he would just move in closer. He would grab onto her and hold her, and she'd kick and scream and yell at him, and he'd say, "I got you, baby, I'm right here." And he could be the kind of solid, male, loving attention that she never got, that she's been desperately seeking for a long time. Or maybe if she was able to give him the kind of counseling attention that he needed, she could say, "Hey, listen, this thing that you just did that was unreliable, where you were late or you didn't do the thing that you said you were going to do that I wish you would, I think you really struggle with this area. I think you don't know how to get done the things that you say you're going to get done. And I love you anyway. I love you even if you don't know how to do those things, because I love you for who you are, not for what you do." And that could be a deeply healing thing for him as a man. And so that would be her starting to give him what he needed. And then he'd relax more and he'd be able to assess more accurately his capacities, and she could help him learn what he needs to know about how to be more reliable. They can give each other the things that they most need for healing to take place. But it's hard to do this when they're both competing for each other's attention at the same time. They've got to learn to take turns. And you can teach them to do that. You can give them practice doing it when you're with them, so that when you're not with them, they can keep doing it with each other. Even when they're in the middle of a fight, it only takes one person in the couple to temporarily pull their attention out, away from the stuff that they're trying to get help with, in order to give the other person the help that they're unconsciously seeking. It just takes one. And when things are really heated, sometimes a person can only pull their attention out for 5 minutes at a time, and that's fine. You teach them to take turns. You say, I will give you 5 minutes of my attention. You can do whatever you need during that time. I'm going to be your ally and your counselor. And then we'll switch and you give me 5 minutes, and we'll just keep going back and forth because neither of us can handle this for more than 5 minutes. Maybe even that's too much. Maybe what I need during my 5 minutes when I'm counseling you is for you to counsel on anything but me. Because let's be honest, the struggles that we both have completely predate our relationship with each other. This happens with couples. All the things that we're struggling with and our conflicts with each other predate the relationship. So you just have the person spend their time when they're counseling working on everything that the situation reminds them of from their life before the relationship. And that's a lot easier for a person in a relationship to hear than hearing a bunch of blame or disappointment or accusation or anger. So it allows people to learn to give each other the loving attention that they need. And they need to do this with each other because you're just not going to be around them very often, and they're around each other a lot. If you teach them to do this, it gives them the tools that they need to get the thing that they've been seeking the whole time. It's like they found each other across a crowded world, exactly the person they needed to work out unresolved things and actually heal them this time around. You're just helping point out to them that that's what they've been seeking the entire time, and you're giving them the tools to do it with each other. They can be each other's ideal counselors, each other's ideal allies, and your job is to teach them how.